Well, welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. When I'm Andre all over social media, Facebook, Blue Sky, X, and of course our YouTube channel, the Stephen Knight Show. Please subscribe, and comment. We appreciate you. All right, well, Sinners is a major hit. The original R-rated vampire thriller, directed by Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, topped the box office in its opening weekend, despite competition from Minecraft movie. According to Variety, the movie brought in 45.6 million in sales from 3,300 North America theaters. The amount of ticket sales marked its biggest debut for an original film since Jordan Peele's Us, which opened at 71 million back in 2019. The film also is the only horror movie in over 35 years to get a cinema score, besting of Get Out, which was A minus, and A Quiet Place Part Two, A minus. So, Chiki, I know you saw this movie. What were your thoughts?
A plus 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 plus. I don't want to really go into too much. We're going to talk about it in movie reviews, but if you haven't gone to go see it, go see it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Yeah.
It's definitely on my list. And I'm glad to see, because Ryan Coogler, doing the promo for this, he said that he got the jazz theme of it all from his uncle who had passed away when he was doing, what was the first movie him and Michael B did together?
Fruitville Station.
When they were doing that, he passed away right after that, and he always wanted to do something like that, and that's what kind of got him into that particular type of jazz music in that era. So it's good to see him with success. Brittany, have you seen it? Do you want to see it? What are your thoughts?
I want to see it. I have not seen it. I think Michael B. Jordan is so fine, but I have not seen this movie yet, and I want to see it. I actually watched this other movie, The Woman in the Yard, Lady in the Yard, and something like that, and I thought that was gonna be good, and it was horrible. So I've been yearning for a really good movie, so I want to see this.
Yeah. What about you, Shaq?
I've not seen it yet. I've been hearing mixed reviews about it, despite the awesome score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, but one thing about me when it comes to movie, I don't, like I told y'all before, I never trust anybody's information but your own. Don't worry about the mother house, because what? Then I what about you? Speaking of movie quotes, I live by players, right? But no, one thing about me though, I'm definitely gonna wait because I just cannot take a crowded movie theater. I especially if I know it's anticipated to be good, I need to get all the details. I need to create that moment. So usually I kind of wait until things die down in the movie theater when I go see, anticipated big movies like this. But no, I'm excited to see it though. But despite the bad things, I've heard majority of good things.
Yeah, I agree.
I am Shaq. Shaq is me. I wait for on demand. I could pay $20. I get it for 2 days, and everybody in my house can watch it. And
that too.
Yeah,
but
because at the movie theaters they charge $20 a person, the popcorn $50. Then they letting people in, and you in there, and they shooting you at the movie theater premiere. I'm like, look, I ain't got time because y'all mad about the seats, and then I don't want no drama. I be like, I don't.
The movie theater, what you got to AMC's?
Okay, so at first I was going to Phipps, and I had went in Spider-Man Homecoming, like Spider-Man something came out, and I normally would take my son on Thursday night in midnight when the movie would drop to go see the new Spider-Man, a Marvel movie. Baby, that Friday they shot it up, so I don't go to Phipps no more. So then I moved to iPick, or I go to the Battery. I try to go somewhere that nobody else want to go, so I don't get shot over a seat. Like Atlantic Station is the ghetto.
Oh no.
Can I make a suggestion? The best time to actually go to the movies, because I go quite often.
Right.
The best time to go to a movie is the first showing on a Saturday. Take your breakfast with you and enjoy your film.
Oh, a little matinee.
Oh, during the week on Tuesday. Well, I don't. Maybe it's all week long, but I know I used to go like early in the morning. Like Chike saying, he's absolutely right. That first showing is $4-5.
Oh yeah, they get a little discount.
You get a huge discount the first one. So.
I used to work in a movie theater in my college days, and I think the movie, like you just said, I wish they can have more. I mean, my movie experiences don't be that bad, but I just try to avoid the kids. Like that's just me,
Yeah.
because we know the parents drop them off, have fun, and they terrorize in the movie theater. So yeah, I just try to make sure I'm gonna try what Chike said because I know they gonna be they not that early in the movie theater, so I'm gonna take that advice.
What I hate about going to the movie during the day? Because the
What's that?
movie theater is dark, and then I'm expecting when I go outside to be dark, be bright. It just doesn't seem right to me going to the movie during the day. But if you want to avoid all that, I do agree.
Yes.
All right, well, Tracee Ellis Ross had social media in a whirlwind after recently explaining why she usually often dates younger men. She stated a lot of men her age are steeped in toxic masculinity, and many users were conflicted with her response. Let me tell you what they were saying. Someone said, well, Little Duval, he said, Tracee Ellis Ross said she likes younger men to avoid toxic masculinity. But if men said that about older women, we'd have a problem. You're also hypocritical. He also said, if you're over 40 and still don't have the man you think you deserve, it's obviously you don't deserve him. Someone else said, this doesn't bother me because I actually agree with her reasoning. This was a gentleman said this. Age often equates to more life experience, more trauma, reinforced negative behavioral norms, vices, and inability or less willingness to change. I just want the double standards and selective bias outrage we apply across genders to end. Because when a man does this, it automatically seems as an act of control, influence, or lack of maturity to date within his own age group. And I'll read one more. This woman, she said this. She dates younger men because they are more accepting of what she wants to do. Toxic masculinity only becomes an issue when women want to rebel. So I'll start with you, Brittany, as our female on the panel. Do you agree with her? What do you think?
I think what she's trying to say is that the male ego is so fragile. The men be getting their feelings hurt, and they do not. Women, when our feelings are hurt, we tend to be more emotional. When men get their feelings hurt, it shows differently than how women do. Their ego gets bruised. Y'all have a very fragile ego where it be like if it's whether it's competitive, whether it's pride, whether it's all these other different things. And I think that to be with somebody, especially Diana Ross's child, you have to be very confident in yourself as a man to know that you are dealing with Legacy, who also has her own standing. She is a great actress. Pretty sure got bank, so you coming in not really providing to this woman's life, which most men her age don't have a problem with. A lot of men will be like, I don't want to move in your house because it's your house and not our house. My name ain't on like they, a lot of people not self-aware. That's the problem. And they don't see themselves. But the male ego be so fragile that sometimes she might go younger, where a younger guy might want to look up on a rich auntie. You know what I'm saying? Like and get taken care of and be a sugar baby. There's plenty of men in Atlanta like that, Tracee. So if she feels some kind of way, about older men, that's how prerogative. Men do it all the time. Men date white women when they get rich all the time. Like it just be like everybody get mad about something. If Tracee wants to have younger men, can she be like the sex is better and they stuff stay harder longer? That's how prerogative. Everybody gonna get mad and be like, I'm 45 years old with stamina. It just be like y'all get mad about everything. Like I can't cannot.
Let me ask you, Brittany, because what it seemed like some of the criticism was what she said was okay, but if a man were to say the same thing, he would get backlash. What do you think about
They do. Men get with younger women to groom them because they're learning themselves. Older women tend to be more set in their ways. They be like, "Fuck that nigga, I got my own money. You ain't gonna come in here tell me." You know what I'm saying? Like, so then they go get with a younger woman who don't know nothing, and then they groom that person and bring that person up because it be like, "I've been with him all my life." Like they'll do that. They're more willing to change to keep a man or to be with a man and stuff like that. They do it and they say it. So I just don't understand why y'all act like y'all mad. But men do it. What did Kevin Samuel say? He was like, "You 35 years old, your stock is dropped." Like, and plenty of men were signing up to listen to his stupid ass. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm confused why we only get mad at one person and not the other. They do it all the time.
Yeah. Chike, Tracee Ross is 52 years old. What are your thoughts on what she said?
First of all, I will preface this by saying I love Tracee Ellis Ross. I think she's very talented. Since she hit the scene, I've always been a fan of hers. However, as a woman who was born into means, she has always had somewhat of a privileged life. And I would assume that she has a specific air about herself. And there would be a high demand in order for a man to treat her the way she wants to be treated. And I will also preface that I know that her father is a strong influence in her life, and she's also a daddy's girl. And the first man that a woman will ever love is their father. And if her father is showering her with love, she has a high demand on what she's going to expect from a man. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have a man who's established and has his own life, he's not going to go into that situation and be the beta. He's going into that situation being the alpha. Whether she can tolerate that or not is a different story. I'm assuming that she would be the type of female that would buck up against an alpha coming into her life. Mm-hmm. It would have to be so much of an alpha, and she would have to acquiesce to his alphaness, which I don't see. So therefore, she would have to be the alpha, and I could see a younger man working with her. She likes what she likes. The situation is whatever it's going to be. And Brittany is right. You know, men do design their lives that way when they date younger women. They date them for a purpose, so they can have the custom situation that they're looking for. Mm. To each his own. You like what you like. Happy dating.
Yeah. Shaq, what are your thoughts on all this?
I tend to agree with both what Brittany and Chika are saying. I follow Tracee Ellis, and I've been a fan for her as a while as well. I love her. I think she's funny. I think that, you know, the things that she shows kind of speak to what Chika is saying. You know, Tracee is, you know, she's very smart. She loves nice things. She dresses well. She's a privileged woman, right? Diana Ross's daughter. But as you see her on social media, because she has a presence on social media, I feel like she is more in tune with her youthfulness as well. And so that's not as typical as a woman with what? She's like 52. Mm-hmm. So, you know, speaking on what Brittany is saying, I think those are just old customs of people her age that wants, especially for men, right? Which is kind of funny. I kind of think that we kind of, per situations, we want to go to these custom ways and then we don't. You know, I that's just a random thought. But like she was saying, they do groom the younger girls, especially someone from in the South. That's always kind of been a thing. And I just think that it does show in how I think she has the right to say what she wants.
Yeah.
To say this is what I'm interested in. To say this has been my experience, even as a privileged woman, right? You gotta think about it. She Tracee Ellis Ross. To what Chike's point, I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of men came her way. Mm-hmm. Or rich, super rich, and she likes what she likes. So I think that the male ego is a little is fragile, because I feel like her saying that shouldn't warrant all of this backlash and all of these things. If you get a room full of women her age, that's not even as privileged, to ask them the same thing, they are gonna raise their hand. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't think that it just warrants all of that. You know, like you said, she likes what she likes, and that's it.
And you know, the older you get, people do become more stuck in their ways. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know,
but she definitely have a youthfulness about her that's like.
I agree with Shaq. She do have like. If I wouldn't think she's 50 something. Right. If you like she just so playful. Yeah.
So I think that's why too, that if she besides her money,
she probably don't have healthy boundaries with her mama. Imagine you bringing in me being Diana Ross and you bringing your significant other in. I trump everybody. I am the supreme. You know what I'm saying? Like she probably they probably got to go to family counseling for that. Like imagine
I
that.
mean,
Like
like seriously, if you look at the pathology of Diana Ross, who's her mom, who she is chipped off the block.
Right.
If you pay attention to her mother's pathology with men, she always picked a certain type of man that complemented her style.
Mhm.
And her nickname was the boss. Like, come
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Come on.
so
That's
imagine how she runs that. A man gonna have to be real confident to not only get chomped off by you, an alpha woman, but also by your alpha mama
Mhm.
that you not gonna check.
Right.
Like, come
I
on
think if
now.
you have, but I think if you that type that she's looking for, a man is not. I don't think that she would intentionally hurt the a man's masculinity at the same time. I feel like you just have to be a man that's
Confident.
comfortable enough and confidence to know this is not a traditional, you know what I'm saying, relationship or a interest.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I just feel like we're in 2025. I think people need to kind of like, if you continue to want to be out here dating, you're gonna have to open. You're gonna have to really be open and kind of expand from your traditional needs because it ain't on social media. I can tell you that. You might
Oh,
want to.
let's talk about that because half the black men in jail,
Uh-oh,
dead,
Brittany.
COVID virus, FDA going away, so they ain't eating right. Like so, then they gay, they don't like us. You know what I'm saying like so half the men they're changing their sexes, like going to a different gender. So our pool is going lower and lower. So yes, between Dre and everybody, my man might not be born yet, clearly, because between everybody else, I'm eliminated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Listen, I mean, you speaking facts, but again, it's 2025, so it's like you can't be stuck in that way of thinking when everyone else is kind of progressing forward. I mean, it's you hold on to some values, but
Yeah.
yeah, you
And the
have
truth of the
to.
matter is, you have to step outside the box, and it looks like that's what she's doing. She's stepping outside the box. Like you said, Brittany, the pickings are getting slim, and you have to pick from what you have.
Yeah. We were talking about that yesterday at Easter dinner. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, but it is true. It is true. All right, our last story. So Warner Brothers is reporting reimagining, excuse me, the 1992 classic The Bodyguard with Kim Kardashian on the top of the list of possible to take the lead role, which was previously played by the late great Whitney Houston. According to Daily Mail, many speculated that Taylor Swift would be tapped at for the iconic role, but sources indicate that the script has been written and tailored for Kim. They say everyone immediately assumed Taylor would get the role played by Whitney Houston in the original film because the Bodyguard remake is directed by Sam Wrench, who directed the 2023 film about Taylor's Eras tour. But Warner Brothers, the studio remaking the original, is very keen on Kim, a source told the Daily Mail. They have already been multiple meetings, and the script has been written with Kim in mind. For those concerned about the singing, well, who said it was going to be a musical? The source says everyone's assuming the remake will be a musical, but there has been talk about making a sequel for years, and most of the talk has been about taking it in a different direction. The source continued using a global celebrity, but not necessarily having having it as a musical, more a straightforward drama. Kim is one of the most recognizable women in the planet. She believes that she has what it takes to be a major movie star. She'd be perfect for the bodyguard, and she knows it. Everyone is very excited, the source continued. Now, Chike, when we talked about this first story, talked about it last week about them doing reimagined version, I said what you always say in movie reviews, how they stop coming up with original stories and telling original stories, and they keep want to take these classics and remake them, and they never really stand up to what the original was. But what are your thoughts on them, Taylor? Because I even joked about Taylor Swift taking the role. Some people have said online, Beyonce doing it. Shaq being part of Beehive said she would never do it. But now to hear that Kim Kardashian is who they want to play the role, and would the movie be different if they're because one of the biggest things about the movie was the music, and now they're taking the music out. What are your thoughts on all that?
As a filmmaker, I think it is corny. to straight up remake something that's a classic, because you can take the premise of the movie and do a reimagining of it and make it just as good as the previous one if you do it differently. So, for example, Trash Kim, because they're just looking at dollars and cents. That's all they're looking at with her. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
If they include the music has another aspect of also being a financial pull, because then you can sell the music. But you don't have a star like a Whitney Houston to be able to do that unless you do a Taylor Swift or a Beyonce or somebody who's selling music. But a twist for me would be maybe a same-sex couple, or switch the genders. The bodyguard, the person that's being protected, is a male instead of a female. It's not a damsel in distress, it's a Mr. in distress, which could be very interesting. Just got to think outside the box.
Yeah. Well, you know, the right would call that a woke version of the bodyguard.
It's okay.
Yeah. Tyra Banks, she filled in. I think you know how Hoda and Jenna. You know, Hoda left, so they have guest stars. Fill in for a week. Tyra Banks was, and they brought it up, and she said she said Taylor Swift should take the role, and everyone went off on her. But Brittany, what are your thoughts on Kim Kardashian being looked at to play Rachel Marin, the lead role?
I'd rather spend my time helping Wendy get free. Before I see that movie. Like I'd rather protest that all goddamn day than go see that movie. I'd be like, I'll hold the sign at Wendy's window. I do not care, because this movie is gonna be so fucking trash. Y'all can't spin it no other way for me. Y'all can't give me no soundtrack too. Y'all can't put no other person in it. I don't want to see. I love Chike's idea of his innovation, but no, like next they're gonna be talking about taking Friday and putting Latinos in it. I cannot. This is just gonna be a mess, the whole thing, and it's just like y'all will destroy a classic. I spent Easter watching the 10 Commandments, the old school 10 Commandments, 2 VHS tapes, 5 hours long, where you sit there and you watch the white Jesus come down from the mountain, tan, and and while I might disagree on how Jesus looked, the classic 10 Commandments does something to me every time. And I'll watch it because I grew up watching that classic film.
Right.
In my mind, leave it alone. I love Beyonce. I don't want to see her in it. I think this is about to be the stupidest thing ever. And there were so many other things y'all could done. Tyler Perry could make a whole nother movie again. Like, 'cause I just don't want to see this. I don't want to see it at all. I don't. Help Disney make some more movie. I don't know. Find something else to do. This is trash. I don't care who they put in it.
And to be fair, and to be honest, part of what made The Bodyguard special, it was the combination of Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner, because that's a Kevin Costner film. He handpicked Whitney Houston to be in it because he's a visionary. He understood what was at play. He understood the dynamic of a Black damsel in distress who is a powerhouse in her genre, and him being the white savior, which worked. That time and era, that formula was going to work. That
like a real life
won't work
thing.
now.
I completely agree. It gave like a real life thing. I really thought Whitney, that was her bodyguard. She was a whole star at the time.
Yeah,
It gave like a real life scenario. Growing up, it probably was like 9, 10, thinking that was Whitney's real life. I swear to God, I thought it was a biopic. Like, it worked because their chemistry worked. Like, I don't know. I don't remember how they picked it or whatever. But to Chike's point, Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston, they looked like they was in love. Like her running to him from the plane, it really worked.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
And
and it was basically a Kevin Costner film. He was very hands-on when it came to that whole entire film. From soup to nuts, he basically put it together.
Yeah. And they didn't think Whitney would be good because she hadn't done a movie yet, but he fought for her and she was about to go on tour. He waited 2 years for her to go finish the tour before they start filming. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq, I know you don't want to hear nothing about Beyonce being part of this project. What do you think about Kim Kardashian being the possible running for the lead role?
No. Just are we taking her serious as an actress? Like I missed it.
I think she was in some other show.
So
Did she have role?
have you watched the latest season of American Horror Story? She was in that season. It was trash to me.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
was
I couldn't watch it. I just kind
No emotion.
I kind of just went through it.
And to be fair, she's not even good to look at on screen. Because all I see is plastic surgery and work. That's all I see.
Yeah, she doesn't have any emotions, like the lines or something. You can't tell when she's crying.
You can't tell.
She does have a
lips, cheeks, ass, and tits.
Yes. And I just don't, I like, to your point, you said something earlier about Kevin Costner having been a visionary, right? And what is our vision here? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to, if this is right. Which if that's the motivation, you're gonna choose the Bodyguard out of all things to try to do this? Like, this is just, it's just very interesting. Like, I feel like this is not right. Like I said, I wouldn't want to see Beyonce do this either. Simply because this is just not a fit for her. You know, if you want to talk, if we could talk in depth about who should, who can, I like the ideal of switching things up and not necessarily calling it a remake. They call it something else sometimes. Well, this is not a sequel, it is a remake, but there's another word for it. I know you kind of know. They did it with
reimagining.
The reimagining, right? Yeah, let's do that. And honestly, you still would have to make that make sense. You know, cast the people, cast talented people who can act and sing well, right? But Kim Kardashian.
I'd rather watch Kanye. At least you know he's gonna give you emotions.
Let's not speak about it.
Let Kanye go on somebody.
Hey, Brittany.
Gonna act the hell out that goddamn movie. He gonna have all kind of emotions. Kanye gonna be so mad in his own goddamn movie.
He gonna go off script. So let's leave him where he at. Please do not mention Kanye right now.
Yeah.
Kanye in the movie. If they want a Kardashian, put Kanye in it.
Well, we'll leave it there.
But he would have to be the stalker, though, pursuing her.
Oh, he would have to be.
He would have to be the stalker.
Yes.
He would play the hell out of it over Kim.
He definitely will.
Yeah. Well, listen, Chike, welcome back. Shaq, thanks so much. Shout out the pod one more time. Where can we keep up with everything?
LBC official LBC podcast.
All right. And we'll be right back after this with movie reviews.